What's up, everyone? Welcome to another District Gooner Pod. It's your two favorite DC Gooners.
Howdy, it's your boy KP and Steven coming to you live from the bench. We're actually hitting you on a Saturday morning, up early. Got a little rasp in the voice. Still early, had a concert last night. Feeling good. And we have a special guest with us here today. Ron Reyes, how's it going?
I'm so glad to be back. Been hearing some stuff while, I've not been on the pod. I've not been able to answer, so I'm looking forward to having some chats. Energy's a little different when I'm not around, I'm seeing, but I'm really happy that the energy's back.
It's an Arsenal pod, so there's going to be some bias in some of the chatter, obviously. Welcome to everyone who's joining us for the first time. Good to have you with us, Ron. I think it's going to be a pretty fun conversation. It's international break, so things have been pretty low in the football world, but the American football world has just picked up. You guys been watching any of the NFL action?
I have, in a few fantasy leagues, which is always fun. First two games, though, I missed last night's game. I went to a concert, so I missed it. But it looked hype. And then that Ravens-Chief game. NFL, it always does it. You know what? They always bring the hype.
Yeah, they had two pretty dang good matchups to start. Shootouts, exciting games that ended on the wire. I mean, that Ravens game by a toe, they lost. Crazy stuff. Good to be back. Good to watch some quality American football. And then Sunday, there's obviously going to be a lot of matchups that aren't very good. So good to get the Thursday and Friday matchups in.
It's fun. I'm pretty far out from the NFL world, but I did notice that they've made some changes. I saw that the kickoffs are different now, at least from the last time that I've watched a football game. People aren't picking up speed for 80 yards before they hit each other. It's only like 20 yards now. So that's a positive change. I'm all for it. And I also saw, I think it's good, the promotional route that they're taking, right? They've got games on Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. I feel like usually it's just one game that starts and then you have to wait a few days. So it's been more engaging, to give them credit. I think Steven's been having some issues with just seeing the same production of the NFL. And then you have, the new scoring graphics pop up, but they're trying. They're trying some new things, bringing folks back into the fold.
It is. They got NBC Peacock, and then now they have Amazon that also shows games, which is another network, I guess. And then ESPN, of course.
I think YouTube TV too, dude. There's like 4 or 5 different streaming platforms now for like a single game.
You know what? Shout out to the NFL for knowing they have so much damn money. They can just do all kinds of stuff. Talking about making new rules, like, CTE, that's a big thing. How can we make that less of an issue for our viewers? Oh, let's move up the kickoff. Like, shout out Roger Goodell. I do have a quick one. Referee wise, in the NFL Premier League, do you think there's like a difference in that standard? Do you think the referees in the NFL are better?
Oof, that's really hard. Maybe it's just recency bias, because my immediate answer was NFL refs are better. But halfway through the NFL season, I know I'm going to be like, these refs suck. They're horrible. Just like the Prem refs too. So maybe it's just because I haven't experienced in a little bit. But initial reaction is yes, NFL refs are better overall.
It's a little weird, dude. Actually, last night when I was watching the game, there are so many refs in one game. So there's just so many different vantage points, and everyone's got such a clear thing that they're watching. I think one of my issues with the Premier League referees recently is that I don't feel that the center ref is like watching the ball. We're not watching the ball anymore, dude. Like the corner or the free kick fouls, like that Eze disallowed foul. It's like you're not actually watching the ball. You're just watching the players. And I'm kind of struggling with that a little bit. I also think having the amount of the refs that they do, they really huddle before they make decisions. And there's just kind of back and forths of like, well, no, this is what I saw. So maybe they do reach a little bit more consensus when they make a decision. Should we have 2 center refs? I don't know. Like, we have the VAR. Maybe we can just use the vantage point of the video more. But I don't know. Right now, I would say the NFL officiating is is superior, especially because at least they explained to me what call they made and how things are going to play out. Like, this is what we saw on the video. This is why we're overturning it. There's at least more transparency that way.
Yeah, I would say that it's probably more consistent, but the fact that there's like that crunch time, like after that 2-minute warning, when there is a mistake, and there has been, when there is a mistake leading into like the last 2 minutes of the game, it really like affects the game totally. Whereas in soccer, I guess, say Arsenal game, that we just had, red card in the 50th minute, like that's a huge crucial moment, but there was still 40 minutes to play. So it's like just a little bit different. Whereas the NFL game, you can play the whole game, have a great referee, and then a huge missed pass interference call with 1:30 left. Like that changes everything. So it's just, the standard is different, I think.
I'm wondering if there's just fewer opportunity too, right? Because the NFL season, 18 games long? The Prem season, 38 games? So maybe it's just we're inundated with the amount of mistakes because it's every game, but that's 38 mistakes versus just 18 mistakes, for instance.
The amount of action, too. I'd say the amount of action, right? The amount of time the ball's in play and football is limited.
Yeah, no, that's all fair points, dude. And I mean, speaking of referees, we do have to go on a bit of an apology tour, actually. Reflecting on our last pod, we love a fact check on the pod, as our OG listeners know. And on the last pod, I said Supreme Court Justice Chris Kavanaugh. The Supreme Court Justice's name is actually Brett Kavanaugh. So definitely the same last name, though. So I stand by that. But no, yeah, just got to update everyone. I don't want you to walk into a bar and then find yourself playing trivia and then get that wrong. So here's an update for you. But I think, on the other hand, Steven, you got some big apologies, huh?
Yeah, Raheem Sterling, not going to wear the number 10, going to wear the number 30. Let's thank our lucky stars for that one. And then midweek, we had a confusion. Martinelli going to be taking the 10 as well. that was going to be reaching the pod. That's not going to happen. That was a mistake. Good on the Arsenal for fact checking themselves, and good people on District Gooner Pod. We also fact check.
All about accountability, dude. And I'm glad that our initial reaction to Sterling wearing number 10 was pretty much spot on. So I am very happy that we went with the 30. That was cool. Sterling, man, dude. I mean, Ron's with us, obviously, our resident Manchester City supporter. So let's chat a little bit about the Raheem Sterling deal, joining Arsenal. Ron, what do you think about the deal as someone who's had the player before?
It's a great deal for Arsenal. You know, the wages that you're paying, what was it, like half, right? No loan fee either. So, I mean, that's a great deal. Sterling is what? He's still only 29, correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, he's still in the prime of his years. I don't think his legs are going. I think he suffered a lot from a real terrible Chelsea system, and he got pushed out. And that's going to be your guys' gain. You know, I had sent in an email, actually, before the signing was made. I don't know if you saw that, Keon. I was wondering about the lack of cover for Saka, and if he was just going to play 80 games again, and you know, if that was just going to be a detriment to his career as a whole if he just has year after year doing that. And then once I saw the Raheem Sterling signing, I was like, oh, okay, wow, never mind. I think that he's going to be a really great signing. He will be really frustrating at times too, because it's like the ones that he shouldn't finish, he does, and the ones that he should, he doesn't. So I hope it's not too frustrating for the two of you, unless it's against us. But ultimately, I think it's a great signing.
I gotta think. So we've had discussions, me and KP, just trying to move the needle a little bit. Is Sterling, in your opinion, someone that could move the needle for us?
Yeah, I mean, like the talking points on your show really have been about raising the floor, right? And I do believe he does that. I do believe he does raise the floor. I think that he's a great sub, especially too, if he's not making the start over Martinelli on the left wing, or if Saka's not playing. I think he's also a great sub that has a good bit of pace, has an eye for goal, whether he actually connects on the goal or not. But I think he'll be a bit of a terror for defenders late on in the match. If he has that pace and he can run in behind, 80 minutes in and your legs are tired and you have Raheem Sterling running it at you, I feel like that's a really difficult proposition for any defender.
I think he's going to start some games, dude. I really do. I think he's going to start some games. The comps have been flooding the timeline this week. The trading comps. I mean, wow, dude. I watched him and Leo Trossard just putting on a show, big man. 1-2, bang. 1-2, bang. I loved it, dude. It's super exciting. We'll see, man. We'll see. I feel pretty good about it, and I hear you on how it can be frustrating. Steven's been hammering the point that it's just a stopgap, and I'm all for it, honestly.
Yeah, you can tell they're trying to push the agenda, like with the comps and stuff this week. They are really pushing the agenda, and this is Arsenal wise. And he looks good, like whatever they're putting out, like he obviously looks good, so it's exciting. I just know from what Ron's saying. I remember watching him at City, and there's times where like you don't fear the guy because you're like he's Doku. I'm gonna say he was Doku-esque at times. Where like he's just not gonna. The end product wasn't there. It wasn't there, but also. You watch some of the comps, like he bagged quite a few goals, like he did, and he cooks people. He absolutely cooks them. I hope coming into our system, I think he had 12 goals with Chelsea last year alone, to not a very good Chelsea side, and I think he took it upon himself. I watched a few games. It felt like he took it upon himself, put the team on my back type situation. I don't really care about anyone else. I'm taking the free kicks. I'm taking the pens. All these young kids around here. I don't think he was in it. Hopefully coming to an Arsenal team that's more like a City team he came from previously, where there are structured roles, there's a structured system. It's none of that for me. It's that no me and team, no I and team, whatever. It's more about the team system we're going to be playing. We have the star boy. You're not the star boy. You're just here for a year. And if you go back to your club, you're probably not going to be wanted. So you have to show out this year. You have to show out. And who knows, maybe we got something cooking on the grill, something smoking.
Dude, that's spot on, man. And I mean, he wasn't making the extra pass when he was in Chelsea, for sure. And I do think that's just a respect thing with just who you're surrounded with, maybe. And he's also already had a really positive effect on Martinelli. Did you see, Steven? Everyone's like, Sterling's in training for one day and Martinelli's getting his head up. He's picking his head up, man.
Hey, raising the standards, man. I like it. I guess potentially losing his spot to Trossard wasn't enough. They bring in someone else that's a serious player, has had serious moments in the league. I mean, you gotta raise your own standard, man. Like this is going to be a crucial year for him, 100%.
It does feel that way, dude. It really does. I mean, with the signing, there's definitely the left wing is in question. So. It's as clear as a fire as that you could start under someone's belly. And we'll see, man. We'll see. Tell us, Ron. Obviously, we haven't had you on in a while, 3 weeks into the season. I'm curious what's popping in the Manchester City ether. What are the vibes like? I mean, I feel like you smoked everyone in your first few games. And I'm also just wondering, like, how do you feel watching your games? Because... like from an outsider's perspective, I get the sense that, it's just another win. Like the games don't hold that much. I feel like they shouldn't hold that much value where it's like, it's just another game. We're just going to win, right? This is the 5th year we're going for it. So how do you get up in the morning to watch those games, dude?
How do I get up to watch a City emphatic win? It's really, really hard. Really difficult to watch Erling Haaland score 2 hat-tricks in a row. Really difficult. It's not boring. It doesn't get old. After so many titles, you're not like, I guess I could probably skip this year, right? Like, ultimately, if we don't win the title this year, it wouldn't be as disappointing given the past few years. But it doesn't get old to watch them win. It doesn't get old to watch them score and play beautiful football. 3 games up, 9 points. Erling Haaland, 2 hat-tricks already. Looks really healthy. And this is all without Rodri. I feel really good. I feel like this is a very uncharacteristic strong start because we typically start slow with the internationals coming back late. Phil Foden really hasn't featured at all. And then the new signings look great too, right? Like Savio looks really good. There's only really 3. Savio looks really good on the right wing. He looks like a baller. Gundogan is back. Really excited about that as well. We signed a kid from River Plate that won't be coming till December. But yeah, I mean, I have more faith actually in this squad than I did in last year's squad. And that also is with like Oscar Bob playing really well. Before he got injured, he broke his leg, unfortunately. But he'll be back this year. And then Rico Lewis coming in. I think he's been playing really, really good the first three matches as well. So
from what I'm hearing is it's in the bag. Come May.
Stop the count.
Done deal. Yeah, throw in the towel.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, like, Arsenal looked really good. Liverpool looked really good. You know, there's still opportunity to drop points. I feel like when Kyle Walker gets back into the squad, I see a big defensive mistake in his locker. And like, to be honest, it hasn't looked super clean all the time too. Like, yes, we've had emphatic wins, but at the same time, there have been shaky moments where I think we've gotten a little bit lucky. With Rodri back in the squad, though, I think that it'll be a lot better as a whole. But I feel really good about the depth this year and just kind of the ability to put Savio on both sides of both wings. And he looks good, so I'm really excited. He looks like Mahrez, to be honest.
Nice. What's your first game? That was West Ham?
No, West Ham was our most recent game.
Who was the first game of the season?
So it was Ipswich. Oh, we had West Ham, Ipswich, and then who was the first match of the year? Oh, it's Chelsea.
Chelsea. That's right. Okay. So I feel like I watched the West Ham game. I watched the Chelsea game too. And like there was Chelsea had chances, but they did Chelsea things, right? They did have some chances. And I felt like West Ham they also had like a puncher's chance in that game. I mean, you guys are just flying. At times it seems like you guys are just flying on all cylinders, man. Especially with Haaland. That guy's just the worst. He's just the worst. It's like a big toe out there. He's bigger than everybody else. It's insane.
Do you think that he's been just so hugely fortunate in a way to play for Norway and not have the international duties that some of the other players on your squad have had? I only ask this because I thought that would be true of Odegaard, but I think Odegaard has not performed very well in the first 3 games of this season, at least to the level that we expect him to perform. But Haaland just looks like he's gotten faster, stronger. He's just lacks zero. He has zero fatigue, it feels like. So I don't know. What's your take on it, Ron?
Yeah, I think he's benefited a lot from not having much international duty this summer. And then, you know, again, having a light load typically for Norway as well. It does suck for him because I imagine he would love to tear it up in these international tournaments. And it seems like Norway can never really qualify for them, which is sad. But hopefully with Odegaard and Oscar Bob also coming in, they can make some waves. But yeah, like last year, apparently, you know, they confirmed this at the beginning of the year that Haaland had like a niggling ankle injury that stayed with him like the whole year. And he missed some time last year as well. And so, you know, he scored it was like 30-ish goals last season, and he missed a significant amount of time too. And now he's fully healthy, had a lot of time to recover, didn't have to worry at all about trying to play any game. So he looks really fit, looks really good, looks really sharp.
That's cool, man. Let's stay with City a little bit since we have you on. What was your Champions League draw like? I don't really know who you have.
Pretty good. I feel like it wasn't like the easiest thing, but it also wasn't the most difficult either. We have Inter, we have Sporting Lisbon, we have.
So actually, those 2 that you've named, we also play those 2 teams.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool about this new format. Slightly, I find that to be interesting. Yeah, as you're chatting, maybe also just talk about a little bit what you think about the new format. Obviously, I think Steven and I are both pretty supportive of it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Because like we have PSG in there, we have Feyenoord, and then we have some of the lower teams as well. We have Club Brugge, Sparta Prague, Slovan Bratislava. That rounds out our 8. But it's really exciting because you don't have to, worry about the last fixture being a dead rubber, right? It doesn't, like, it's just a dead game. It doesn't really matter at all. Like, if you're at the top of the table in this new format, like, and you want to stay at the top of the table, then you have incentive to continue to play your last couple of games, which is really cool. I do also like the idea for some of these, like, kind of mid-table European teams, I guess, because it gives them more of an opportunity if they're, playing a wide variety of teams versus like, oh, we have to play Bayern Munich and we have to play Barca twice. Like, how many points am I going to get from some of those games? Whereas now you have the opportunity to play a wider variety of teams at home and away. And so I think the format I didn't like at the very beginning, but like seeing it all come together, although I was pretty confused, looks really good. And I think it's going to be really exciting. Kind of sucks for the players because there's more games, but more exciting as a fan.
I think that's the point. I want to see how it affects the players, I guess, with the extra games. If that is going to make a difference, it is probably increased travel as well. So 8 games, you kind of get your 3 games in your group last season, right? You got your 3 teams in your group. Maybe you have one that's kind of the far one. You got other reaches that are closer. But like this one, so we go to Atalanta on Thursday, and then we have to play you guys, City, like that following Sunday. We have a few back-to-back ones where it's like, oof, this is going to be tough as far as with travel goes. I'm just interested in these damn international breaks too, man. It's like, one of these fools going to get a break. But I'm kind of interested if the extra games are really going to make a difference or not, or if you're going to have to rely on your squad depth eventually.
There's been a lot of talk from the players themselves over this break, more than usual, I think. And that's also nice, right? I mean, we have unions in the US, so I think they should have some kind of player European union where they can, voice their concerns. It's really hard, dude. You look at the schedule, Steven. I mean, for us, after they added the Champions League games in there, it's tough, dude. There's periods where you're literally just playing every 3 days, sometimes every 2 days, it feels like. And yeah, to your point, Steven, when it's 2 back-to-back aways, when it's a European away tie followed by a Premier League away tie, that's going to be really impactful on any squad, honestly. Did you guys see that Chelsea's squad is so big that for the UEFA Conference League, they didn't even include Cole Palmer in the Conference League squad?
Wow. That's actually pretty funny. I did not see that.
That's wild, dude. 4 other players, too, I think, are in their Premier League squad, starters, but they're not included in their Conference League. So at the same time, you guys raised the question of, all right, UEFA, you reformatted the program. Do we need the 3rd European Cup? Where did this come from? What are we doing here? Because if a team like Chelsea drops into the Conference League and isn't even willing to kind of put their star player on their squad, that does raise some questions about why are we holding this cup?
Yeah, and not to mention the Club World Cup as well was expanded this year too, right? There's 32 teams in the Club World Cup now as well. So I know City's affected by that. Chelsea will be affected by that too. But the Conference League, the FIFA World Cup, or a Club World Cup, and then all of these international tournaments, the UEFA Nations League, all of these new games and new leagues and things like that they're implementing. Really great as a fan because I love watching football every couple of days, but at the same time, these guys are going to pass out. The quality overall, I feel will go down as a result of them being really tired and then injuries and things like that. So it's a scary proposition.
It is, dude. But hey, let's go around a little bit and update our listeners on how some of the Arsenal players have been doing on international duty. I saw that David Raya got the start for Spain. That was cool against Serbia. The game ended 0-0. So shout out to David for keeping a clean sheet there and making his mark. I think it's nice. Also shout out to the Spanish national team coach, right? had you in the Euros. You only played one game. You've had a great few games with Arsenal. The shirt is yours for these international. That's the right way of calling players back to have their international duty, not calling Declan Rice back to put in another 90 minutes, you know. Let's give another center defensive mid a try.
Yeah. Actually make it make sense, right? Make it make sense, please. I think that's cool. Like, reward you, right? You've had a great start of the season, probably the most, maybe, I mean, I don't watch La Liga like that, but like maybe the most notorious saves he's had so far, a couple clean sheets. Like, yeah, David, you've done your due diligence after being on our squad all summer. Here's your start. Like, good for you. I'm still not with the calling all these people back, though, to be honest. Like, I can't figure this out. I don't know why. Why are you calling a Declan Rice back? Why are you calling a Saka back? We know they're going to be in the squad, right? Like, why are you not giving other knuckleheads a chance?
Yeah, and it's also interesting because, to your point, like, did Cole Palmer drop out? Because a few players also just returned from camp. I think Phil Foden was one of them. I think Cole Palmer was one of them. Like, is Cole Palmer basically just saying, nah, dude, I'm not going to play. Like, you've called me back. You're still going to play whoever, you know, was in front of me at the Euros. I'll just go back to Chelsea. Like, classic Benny Blanco precedent, bro. But I'm all for it. It's just a shame that it has to go to that.
I'm wondering too if it is just because it's this manager's first international break. I believe, like with the players, Lee Carsley is the new interim, at least, manager. And so I'm wondering if that's the reason why he wants to get all of his senior players to at least have some conversations, get a feel for them just as a whole. I know that he's been in the FA for a little while. I think he did some of the under 21s and has coached, I believe, Saka and Foden and Palmer before. But yeah, I'm wondering if that is. But 3 games into the Premier League season and we already have an international break. It's just such a buzzkill, right? Like, it's so annoying. We had major tournaments this summer, which were great. And then to see another international friendly instead of a competitive Premier League match, I couldn't be bothered.
I think it also raises some questions about some of the refereeing decisions that we saw. Like, is it a perfect setup to just go on an international break and we can make whatever mistakes we want because the media will just turn its attention and it'll blow over within a week. Don't worry about it. Then we'll be back in the league. Everyone's forgotten about it by then. So no worries, man. Jakub Kiwior played for Poland in their win over Croatia, I want to say. Wait, no, I have that wrong. It was Scotland. Jakub Kiwior's Poland plays Scotland, and they won 3-2. So that looks like an exciting match. TP5 put up 90 minutes on Thursday for Ghana. They lost 1-0 to Angola. So that's not great for Ghana. Looking at Friday, I think yesterday, Kazakhstan played Norway. I think Odegaard played a full 90. So that's, you know, I just saw him hobbling around on one leg for 70 minutes in a very competitive match in the Premier League. I'm shocked that he played the full 90. The game ended, I think, 0-0, or it was a low scoring game. I did see a lot of highlights come out of the France versus Italy game on Friday. Calafiori, 70 minutes. He went off injured, they're saying, but I hope it's nothing serious, man. Can't afford it, but what a gem, dude. He looks good, man. I want him to start, dude.
Did you watch the video? I sent it in our group chat yesterday of how he got injured.
No,
it is insane. Dembele gets taken out. He tumbles over and basically bicycle kicks Calafiori in the calf, and that's he's like, oh, and he comes off like that. It looks like a karate move almost. Like, it's crazy.
It's like a cartoon, like how you could like what is it? What's the mouse?
Tom and Jerry?
Jerry. Tom and Jerry. It's like some Tom and Jerry stuff, dude. Like, just like you can't write this stuff. You can't even script it. You can't even script it. Guy Fieri. down for the count. He's taking a big stud to the freaking calf. I think he's all right though. I think there's already news that he's going to be playing the next game. So
he should be all right, dude. There was, Italy beat France 3-1. Really nice goals. The first goal Italy scored was saucy, dude. If you haven't seen that, look that up, man. But Saliba got some heat online, dude, for one of the goals especially. Have you seen this, Steven, where a pass comes into the box and it's Saliba versus 3 players and one of them ends up taking the touch and goes around him. They score, but people are saying, look at Saliba without 6 center backs around him to help him.
I didn't see it. I did see something about him let 3 goals against them. This goes along exactly what we were just talking about though. Like, why is this kid playing? Like, why is he playing in these matchups? I just don't think it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. Played all summer with this team, started all of those games, performed well. Like, what is he playing for? What is he there to prove, I guess, is my question. Are they using these matchups to prove something? Like, you need to be a starter? I don't think that's what these should be for, personally.
And they're friendlies.
Exactly. That's the point. Like, what are we doing?
So, I don't know, man. Saturday, a lot of people are in action today. I think Big Gabby's Brazil played Ecuador early in the morning. Big Gabby played a full 90. Saka and Rice are in action against Ireland. Timber's going to be in some action against Bosnia. King Kai's Germany. I say that because did you see they named him a vice captain? Something like that?
Deserved, man. Deserved.
how can you possibly still be chatting shit, bro? German international, captain of the squad, Champions League winner, bro. 15 plus goals coming right up. Allow it.
That's another one. I don't want him to play. I just don't want him to play. He's hot. I want him to save it for us. Don't play the kid. Do not play him. Save it for us. Because he's got goals coming.
Yeah, there's a lot of other action too. It goes all the way to Tuesday, man. The players return after Tuesday. So
I will say that these are technically Nations League matches. I was wrong as well when calling them a friendly. But they are Nations League matches, so it does matter in terms of what group that they're in. If they lose these games, they go up. Or if they lose these games, they go down. If they win these games, they go up.
Good fucking fact check, baby. I love it. What else happened in the footballing world over the last week? I see the Ballon d'Or list came out. 30 players or so were named on it. 4 from Arsenal. Can't remember the last time we had 4 players on the Ballon d'Or.
Who are your 4?
No.
Saka, Saliba,
Odegaard.
Rice, and Odegaard, yeah.
Odegaard. Go to guard, if you will.
Madrid had 7 players. I thought that was just insane. Why is the list 30 players to begin with? I feel like it could be just 10 players, but also 7 of them are from Real Madrid. I know they're good, but why is Carvajal on this list? Are you serious?
Hey, if you had to put your money down right now, $100, who you picking end of the season? Who's your winner?
Put my life savings.
Okay.
On my GOAT. Best midfielder in the world. Rodri. He's winning it.
He can't even win player of the season of his own league.
He's underappreciated. But he did get player of the tournament at the Euro, correct?
Stock rising.
Up and comer.
I tell you what, dude. If Jude Bellingham gets it, I might actually just never pay attention to it again.
I'm going to be sick. If that guy wins the Ballon d'Or.
Dude, Nico Williams was on the list. I like him. I enjoyed what I saw at the Euros, but is that enough to put him on the list? How are they coming up with this? I don't fully understand it, man. I want to see, to be fair, I think Rodri has probably been the best footballer this last season. But I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Vinny, dude. I might, if I had to bet, I'd probably bet on Vinny.
Ooh, I think it's between three. I think it's between Haaland, Mbappe, and Vinny. Those are the three. Although Rodri might be the best player, it's just like in the NFL, right? The MVP is always the quarterback, no, regardless if anyone has the best season of like in their position, the best wide receiver, their best season ever. It doesn't matter. Quarterback's going to win the MVP. So a Ford is going to win the Ballon d'Or. That's just the way it is. As silly as it is, I would put my money on one of them three, and I'd say if Real Madrid win the Champions League, it'll be one of them, and if City do, it'll be Haaland.
That's good, dude. That's a good shout. We haven't been shy of nominations over this break. Did you see Saka was voted Player of the Month for Arsenal? It's a tough one, dude. Some people are saying, hey, why wasn't it David Raya? Like, he seemed to have a big role to play in your first 3 games. Should he have been Player of the Month? I was leaning towards Raya. I am surprised that Bukayo got it, to be honest. But I guess fair play. Star boy things, right? He's the one who created every goal for us in the first 3 games, and that probably matters slightly more than saving them.
That's a good shout. I honestly wasn't even thinking about Raya, but he has been, I mean, to be fair, even the 2 clean sheets we had, kind of lucky because he had huge moments in both of those games. So that's a great shout. To me, I was thinking between Kai and Saka because they're both the ones that have been assisting and scoring all of the goals. But on the other end of the pitch, the one preventing the goals has been Raya. I would, for the club's sake, it'd be smart to give it to Raya with Ramsdale now gone. Let's pledge allegiance to this man.
He's the quarterback, right? Quarterback gets the nod. Saka
there you
wins
go.
Player of the Month.
There you go.
Making connections.
Yeah.
Seeing trends. Seeing patterns.
Wow. You have a beautiful mind, dude. David Raya was nominated for Premier League Save of the Month twice. So maybe he'll bring that one home. And I saw Arteta was nominated for Manager of the Month. I don't think he'll get Manager. I think it's going to be the Liverpool manager.
That wouldn't be a surprise. Or they could give it to Pep for Rodri's not in the squad.
No, I think Brighton's manager has to have a shout too. Fabian Hürzeler. Like, they played United. They played you guys. Got results in both of the those matches.
He's a rat. He's a rat. Nah.
He was chatting shit after that game, bro.
Yeah, was he? I didn't even see that.
They asked him about the red card. He was like, of course it's a red card. There's no question about it. And I think the interviewer then said something about the João Pedro. Completely different situations. Don't even compare them. So, like, good for him, I guess. Like,
it's always going to happen.
Straight into his Moutinho era. Straight away. 3 games in.
Yeah, man, but he was chatting shit. So welcome to the league, dude. We'll see you. We'll see you in Brighton at the Amex. Let me update our listeners a little bit on how the women of the Arsenal are doing. Shout out to the ladies. You know, we always try to have one band, one sound on the pod, and the women will be in action actually today on Saturday against Rosenborg. So that will be a big qualifying game for them to get into the UEFA Women's Champions League. You might recall they missed out on the competition last year. That was kind of sad. But hopefully they'll get through this one. It's interesting. They beat Rangers 6-0 in the semifinal, and then Rosenborg actually was losing 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. And they came back and defeated them. So I expect the ladies to go through. Oftentimes when you have I want to say smaller team like Rosenborg beat Atletico after you get a big result like that, they don't often follow up with another big result. So I would back our ladies and hopefully they'll get through. And then they'll be back in Super League action on September 22nd. So their season doesn't officially start for another couple of weeks, and I think their season opener is actually against Manchester City, who are a very good team. So it should be a fun game.
Snap back to reality. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah, you have your big up. You're bound to come down now, right? From the mountaintop, there's only down. There's nowhere else to go. I actually was on the street this morning, taking my dog out for a walk. Trinity Rodman is back with the Spirit, and there's like billboards, not billboards, but like on the bus, at the bus stops, they're gassing that up. Go to the Spirits game. Go to the Spirit game. Trinity Rodman's back. I'm trying to think of all the star power we have here in the district. She might be, she might be it. I'm thinking the Wizards. I guess Ovechkin. I'll give Ovechkin from the Capitals, probably our star player.
What about Kuzma?
Even yeah, Kyle Kuzma. Even from the Nationals, I don't even know who the star player is. So, shout out Trinity Rodman, and then we got the Commanders coming. They got the new quarterback, Jaden Daniels. Maybe he can turn the tide here in the district.
Maybe, dude. Yeah, the district is lacking some star power in our athletics. So hopefully some of the owners will take notice of that. If you're listening, this is a good time to make some changes. Speaking of changes, U.S. men's national team. Huh? How about that? Finally brought in a new manager, it looks like. The one they call Pochettino.
I'm going to throw it to Mr. Reyes here. What do you got?
I love it. What a great hire. I was expecting a Bruce Arena. I was expecting another, I already forgot his name because Greg Berhalter. I tried to purge him from my memory. I was expecting another manager on that caliber. I thought that they were just going to float Pochettino's name like as an exciting thing and then hire some MLS guy again. So to see him actually cross the line to get over the finish line is really good. I think that he'll be really, really good for the men's national team. I think at least it'll be good for the development of the players and development of the national team squad as a whole, that maybe we're actually serious about stuff and we're not just trying to push the best but most mediocre American manager that we have.
I love it. I'm with you. I'm backing this dude. I want to say it's even like just having some sort of pedigree. Like he has a certain pedigree, a certain aura, I think. Like, is he the best manager ever? No, of course not. But of the managers we've had, like, you got to respect this guy. I'm thinking, so you got Pulisic, you got Weston McKennie, Jedi Robinson, like players that play in Europe, like they think they know stuff. Like, no, this guy managed PSG, he's managed Tottenham, he's managed some like big clubs. Like I've dealt with the big dogs. I've had Neymar as on my team before. Like, you ain't shit, right? Like, maybe he can put him in check, not Greg Berhalter just kind of like, hey guys, you guys doing okay? All right. Whatever you want kind of a situation. Like, he can actually put them in their place. I also like that he's Argentina. Like, he may know a little something about that life, which I think in American soccer would be very beneficial to start to grasp. That's something we lack a lot, is like having that, a little nastiness to the game. That's something we don't really carry at all. I'm hoping he can not only like KP likes to say, like get the fire in the belly a little bit and challenge some players, but also kind of teach them some new stuff and bring something new to our squad, because we're good. I think we have good players. Hopefully he can put us in the right position to squeak a few wins out.
Yeah, and I would say the biggest thing about it is other national teams wanted him. If not their federation, at least their fans. I heard some English fans say, hey, maybe instead of Southgate, now that he's on his way out, wouldn't mind Poch. I've heard some people say that. So that also helps that the federations got out there and pulled a name like that. I'm sure he'll have a good team to surround himself and build the actual youth program. I also absolutely don't care that he's not an American. Good that he's not an American. Someone who can teach these guys how to actually win in Copa America, to your point, Steven. So I'm all for it. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully we can help him overcome his bottle gene, but everything else I'm all for, man. I'm all for. Obviously, this is an episode from the bench. So before we close everything out, it's time to play the game.
It's time to play the game!
Mystery man, mystery man, mystery man, You guys brought in anyone?
I'll go first.
Of course.
I'll go first. My mystery man played in the U.S., England, Netherlands, Scotland, Germany, and Mexico. He won the Gold Cup in 2002, 2005, 2007, 2013, and 2017. 2013, he was actually the captain of the squad. He earned 125 caps for the USA, transitioned from left wing earlier in his career to left back, and was recently inducted into the National Soccer Hall of Fame in 2023.
Dude, you've like lost me in at so many stages of that. So he's American, but he's won the Gold Cup 5
The
times.
Gold Cup.
What is the Gold Cup?
Like the...
Is that the one with just like the 6 teams that are in North America?
It's the CONCACAF tournament.
Yeah, it's like the mini CONCACAF tournament, right? Like,
And he was an attacker that then became a defender.
Yep.
And he was indicted into what, dude? I mean, is he Yedlin?
nope. He played left back.
You said left wing to left back. I'm going to go with, I can see his face. He's bald.
Mm-hmm.
He got an egg head. Is his last name Beasley?
Yep.
Is that right?
DeMarcus
Michael
Beasley.
DeMarcus Beasley. Okay.
One of the GOATs.
Wow, good
One of
for
the
you.
American GOATs. The averagest player of all time. One of our GOATs. One of our international stars.
Yeah, you had me until you said the left wing, left back situation. I was kind of, but he did play in a lot of different clubs too.
There's really nothing super standouty about his career. So I had to add his position because there's no way that you guys, even as I was doing, I was like, I don't think that they're going to get this.
Steven always gets them, dude.
Big brain, bro.
That's my goat, dude.
My goodness.
I can go. My player's nationality is Italian. So he's kind of a gangster. He's considered by some to be a GOAT. He played left back and center back most of his career. He has won the Champions League 5 times. He actually holds the joint record for most European Cup, UEFA Champions League final appearances with 8.
I think I got it.
Any guesses? Yeah,
Is
hit me.
it Maldini?
It is Maldini.
I was like, Calafiori this early?
No, Paolo. Did you know his middle name is Caesar?
I don't know why I would
Kinda
know
cool.
that.
After the monkey. That was a bad joke. Sorry.
That was good.
Caesar.
Paolo Caesar Maldini. Cool name. Cool
Yeah,
name.
that is a cool name.
Who do you have, Steven?
All right. This might take a little bit, a little effort to get. So I was a player. I had 216 appearances with Espanyol and 70 appearances with PSG. I was with Espanyol from 94 to 2001 and PSG from 2001 to 2003. I also made an appearance in the 2002 World Cup with Argentina. I'm most known, at least to this crowd here, as a manager. In the Premier League, I have managed Southampton and Tottenham.
Is it
It's Pochettino, dude.
It's Pochettino. It is Poch.
Good one, dude.
Did he come back
Good one.
to manage Espanyol as well?
That was his first club
Okay.
that he managed.
Okay.
He's kind of an interesting career. So he went from Espanyol to Southampton. He actually one season with them, they finished 8th. It's like one of their, I think it's tied for their best season. And he went straight to Tottenham after that. We know about that. And then from Tottenham, he went to PSG, and then Chelsea. So he's had kind of an interesting career. Had some big names, and now he's with the men's national team in the USA. So top, this is his peak.
Good for him, dude. Good for him. All right. Well, Ron, thanks for joining us. Everyone listening, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. If you like the podcast, please drop a rating or a review. It really does help with the algorithm. And also share it on social. It's the best way for others to find out about us. We appreciate you. We'll see you for the North London Derby preview.
Roger Ballon d'Or, thank you for having me. The campaign starts now.
Be easy.